Hi, I'm Laura Maniec, and this is the weekly tasting, and this week we're going on a European vacation. Yeah, that's right. We are exploring all of some of the best wine producing regions in Europe. We're going to start by a little white wine via France. We're going to the Loire Valley region, and we're having Sauvignon Blanc from the Menetou-Salon. Then we're going to go over to Spain, just the most famous wine producing region in Spain, which is Rioja, but this time we're switching it up and sending a white Rioja. Then we're taking a little trip to the island of Sardinia, where we'll try a local grape called Bovale. Finally, we're going to go to Portugal, right on the Douro River, and we're going to have a local grape called Touriga Nacional. I can't wait for you to join me on this European vacation. Domaine de Loriot is a Sauvignon Blanc from the wine-producing region of Menetou-Salon. So this is a really great wine, and I'm really excited to show it to you because I think a lot of you know about this wine region called Sancerre. But you might not realize that there's a lot of different towns in your favorite wine-producing region, and in this case, the town is called Menetou-Salon. Whenever you see Menetou-Salon, just know that it is a very cool and neighboring village to Sancerre, but because it's not as popular, you'll generally find better value. Like if you see on a wine list Sancerre, it might be, you know, a little bit like $5 or $10 more than something like Menetou-Salon. So that's the beauty of these videos. So why I picked this wine is I think it's a classic white wine from France, and it's a good example of the minerality and the earthiness we were talking about when we were generalizing and saying old world wine producing regions are that style. So Sauvignon Blanc, you know by now, it's more citrus, lemon, lime, orange, grapefruit, and I think you really feel that here, especially more zest, like lime peel and lemon peel, and the zesty part, like that white pith. But all of that fruit is subtle because on the finish you get chalk, you get minerals, you get the stoniness, and it really has that so classic gooseberry. And if you don't know what gooseberry is, it's sort of like this foresty currant, or it's just like smoky, almost like tobacco, but like wet tobacco. So it has a little bit of minerality and organic earth. It doesn't have any oak, and it's perfect with salads and some shellfish and, you know, ceviche and other kind of qualities that you would find in light, delicate foods. I promised you a vacation, and I can't think about vacation without thinking about the islands. In this case, I'm going to bring you to a region, an island rather, off of the coast of Tuscany in the Mediterranean part of Italy, and I am talking about the island of Sardinia. There is such a beautiful and historic region to visit, and one that I actually took a motorcycle and drove all over, not a motorcycle, but technically like a little motorbike, and drove all over the island. So anyway, in this case, we're talking about a wine from a grape called Bovale, and this is a red grape that's more light in color, kind of like a cross between Pinot Noir and Red Zinfandel. It has that garnet color that's slightly transparent. It's not a really thick or dark wine. And the fruit, it really reminds you that you're in the Mediterranean. It is strawberries and sun-kissed strawberries for that matter. And then it has like this savory wild herb, like herbs from Provence, as well as this really nice, like subtle earthy quality, like beets and mushrooms and cedar. I love the way it tastes. I think it's a perfect example of when you get the best of both worlds. You get like this sappy, sun-kissed, ripe and delicious strawberry, but then you have this mouth-puckering acidity that just like makes your mouth salivate. As true old world styles go, they always kind of finish with that nice tart acidity, and I think that this is no exception. I'm really excited for you to try this wine. And I think it's the perfect wine for those in-between meats. If you're thinking about lamb or veal or pork or anything for pasta, this is the perfect wine. Just tell your friends you're gonna bring the Bovale. Are you ready to travel to Spain? Well, if you are, we're gonna go to Bodegas Escudero. Sorry, we can all mispronounce some things sometimes when we're so excited. Bodegas Escudero. So yes, this is the most famous wine producing region in Spain, and it is called Rioja. Rioja is named after this river called the Oja River. And I picked this wine because I think it is completely contrasting to the Menetou-Salon we talked about, or I sent in this pack. And it's a really unbelievable example of white wines that can be richer and creamier. And if you love, or any of your friends love Chardonnay, this is the perfect wine for you. So Rioja is generally a blend, especially for the white wines. In this case, there's a grape called Viura, and Viura is blended in 50% with 50% Chardonnay. This is a wine that is aged in barrique, which is also called barrels, and because of that, it has that vanilla and clove and custard and creamy texture that I know you're gonna love. So let's give it a taste. Wow, it is like apple pie in a way, like roasted apples and cinnamon and clove and vanilla, but it also has this custard-like nose to it, like almost cream or curd. Oh, so good. And you can tell by just looking at the color that the color is a little bit more deep straw, that when you taste it, the fruit feels ripe and much more in the orchard fruit, like I mentioned, apples and pears. It has a distinct like clay or chalky minerality, so it's still definitively old world Spain, northern Spain, but you know, this kind of contrast of this rich style of white wine is really perfect with pasta, with any kind of like scallops and brown butter or fish. Oh, this wine is so good, and I'm so excited for you to drink it with me. We are traveling to Portugal, and our next stop is a region called the Douro. And we're stopping in, imagine, and we're talking to this brother and sister that started this winery called Maçanita. And so Maçanita is a joint venture between siblings. And one of the things that I love most about tasting wine and and traveling all over the world is meeting the unbelievable people that make these wines. So this is a story of winemakers that were consultants and worked all over the region of Portugal in 14 different wineries before starting their own project. So you can imagine siblings, brother and sister, getting together in this region on the Douro, which is also the name of the river that runs through Spain and Portugal, and having these terraced vineyards and coming up with this delicious, full-bodied red wine from a grape called Touriga Nacional and another grape called Susau. So I'm sending you this one, and I think what we've done with this pack is really have a variety of wines that are really contrasting and show the traditional and also some of the grapes that you might know of already. And this is a deeply colored, sort of opaque or purple red wine. It has much more black fruit on the nose, and it has like a blackberry and a black plum and a purple plum. The fruit smells like it's been heated in the sun. It's like these slopes that are looking over the Douro River, and you can really get a sense that they were basking in the sun. It's more clove, vanilla, cedar, medium plus in body, not quite full, and it has like a little bit of a dusty tannin, but it doesn't go to the point where it feels chewy or anything like that. So in the fact that this is a big red wine, it's still like more round on the palate and really just beautiful if you're having lamb or ribeye steak, or even if you have something a little bit more subtle. This wine has really evolved since I've opened it. When I first opened it, it was a little tight. It wasn't showing all that blackberry fruit. So I didn't decant it, but I just left it open on our table while we filmed the videos. And it really is coming into its own and becoming like this really silky side of this wine. So I'm really excited. This is the Douro River. It's our last trip on our European vacation, and it's Portugal. Thank you so much for joining us on the European vacation. As you know, I'm super passionate about these wines, and it's so fun to go to France, Italy, Spain, and Portugal with you guys via the wine glass. I'm really excited that this pack could show you that there's so much. There's culture, there's language, there's people, places, grapes, subregions, and regions in Europe that are still left to be explored. But I'm really happy about Menetou-Salon, about the Rioja region, the island of Sardinia, and this beautiful Douro river and region in Portugal. And I'm so glad you came on this trip. Please don't forget to tag us on your social media. Let me know, because I really want to get to know you, what your favorite wines are, what your favorite places are, and what you'd like to see more of from the weekly tasting. Thanks so much.